Yeah, what do you want? I was one of the best youth warriors in the clan Ordo in my time. No one before me had mastered the power of our basilisk war droids as quickly as I had. Except Mandalore himself, of course. In those days, we were sweeping across the Outer Rim, destroying all who fought us. Young Mandalores would prove themselves in real combat with unknown opponents above 1,000 worlds. Each brought back stories of his achievements. I remember it well, orbiting high above a placid world, its defenses just stirring. As was tradition, I would go ahead of the first wave to find enemies in the thickest fighting. I remember sitting there in my armor, linked directly with a basilisk thrumming beneath me, my heart racing with fear of the coming battle. Every new warrior has to fear to understand how to beat it. You must know that. The doors opened in front of me, and the air was sucked out of the drop bay, scattering crystals of frozen vapor across my path. I can't describe what it feels like to look directly down at a world, falling continuously as you circle it, with barely 15 centimeters of armor plate protecting you. When the magnetic locks disengaged on my droid, I plunged out of the drop bay towards the battle that waited below. The exhilaration, the euphoria I felt as I streaked into the atmosphere, dodging self-guided projectiles and beam weapons, was unmatched. An 80-kilometer plunge through the atmosphere, dodging and weaving, the outside of my armor glowing like the sun with the heat of re-entry. And with barely 30 meters to spare, I twisted and skimmed the surface, firing at the giant beam generators that were in my path. The explosion from that sent shock waves that leveled the entire complex around it. It was the moment of my life. I'll never forget those times. But things are different now. We can't go on fighting the way we did. There are too few of us left now. But I really don't want to talk about this anymore. I trust I've satisfied your curiosity for now. Is there something else you want to know? Your choice. I'm here if you want something done right.
How may I be of assistance to you, Padawan? What is it you would like to speak to me about? Well, I suppose I have not talked very much about the Jedi I met back home. All of them, were so very invigorating. They were so very alive, so full of hope and energy and zeal. In retrospect, I can see it was a little bit tragic. Well, yes. These Jedi were going to fight the Mandalorians just after they had invaded. Many of those Jedi perished in the fighting, but to us, they seemed invincible. Especially their leader, who they talked about all the time. Paragons of light and justice, sweeping away all iniquity before them. It was like looking at gods. I know that. I was using poetic license. But those Jedi, they were enthralling. Everyone wanted just to touch them. Some people thought it would bring them luck. Not that the peace they brought lasted very long. The Jedi left. The people grew complacent. Those who had been wronged saw their chance at revenge. And so the cycle continues. The oppressed become the new generation of oppressors. The human oppressed, that is. The non-humans were never treated well in any case. We felt the brunt of both administrations. Of course it was. They took their frustrations and hate out on us, because the people they wanted had already fled, or were too well protected. But no one looks out for the injustices we suffered. Oh no, but But I am sorry. I should not have outbursts like that. Don't you see? The very fact I mentioned it means it has its influence. Anger can lead to the dark side, and I must be ever careful that I do not fall back into those ways. I thank you for your support. My outburst was uncalled for, but you did not lash back at me. You are a much better Jedi than I, it would seem. But let us not speak more of this now. We should continue on our journey. Perhaps later we will talk again.
Yes, what's on your mind? You got it.
How can I help? Sorry. It's not that I... Another vision. The Force is guiding us, helping us retrace the steps of Malak and his old master, leading us ever closer to the Star Forge. Tatooine is known for little but blowing sand. I find it surprising that there would be a star map somewhere in its desolate wastes. The star map would likely have to be within some kind of shelter to protect it against dust and sandstorms. I suspect there are many such caves and caverns hidden in the sands of the Dune Sea. The creatures of this world probably use them as their lairs. No doubt things will become more clear once we discover the star map's location.
Yes, what's on your mind?
Tatooine's just a desert planet. I hear the mining isn't going so well. I bet the colony gets abandoned before long.
Well, that's all I can think of, at any rate. You got it.
Welcome to Anchorhead, potential customer. Zerka Corporation stands ready to serve, after some formalities, of course. First, your ship is not on our list of planned arrivals for today. There is a docking fee of 100 credits because of this. The immediate benefit is access to these very docking facilities. This is the only port in Anchorhead. Once you've paid, we will offer trade services as well. We're not unreasonable, we just want to cover expenses. I assure you that the fee is non-negotiable. We have a very thin margin of profit on this world. That does make sense. I suppose I could let it go this time. We need the business. This will cover any future landings as well. It's like a registration, so we can serve you better when you return. Now, as a customs officer, I can provide information on services. Is this visit business or pleasure? There isn't much to tell. It's a very old planet, well past its prime. Zerka Corporation is the only company with any interest in it. It's not a very pretty world, but there is opportunity here if you know where to look. I can't really get into that. It hasn't been a very smooth operation. I shouldn't get into it. Well, it's common knowledge, so there's no harm in telling you. It's a tale of bad business. You see, Zerka Corporation staked their claim to this planet based on some very promising geological surveys. Unfortunately, that information was incorrect, and possibly even an attempt at sabotage by a rival company. Not totally barren. There were a few good years of mining, and limited operations are still in place. But the ore is flawed. It has peculiar properties. They've had to look at other forms of business. Zerka Corporation has really tried to hide this, but it just seems that Tatooine metal is unfit for effective manufacturing. I would imagine that this outpost will eventually be abandoned. Nobody is making any money here. Of course, this rock may have been settled a few times, so look for some other company to get stuck with it. Pursuits that appeal to the casual traveler. There are some fearsome native species that provide exciting hunting. There are also lengthy, barren wastes that serve as fine soup tracks. Attracting business has been slow, however. Very little. There are hints that it might once have been a lush world, but I can't picture it as anything but a desert. Native sentient species have no records going back that far. That was hundreds of years ago, maybe thousands. Of course, the native species are not very willing to tell anyone anything. They're barely more than animals. The Sand People. They're vicious and attack outsiders on sight. More animal than anything, really. Maybe they know the history of Tatooine. Maybe they don't. Impossible to tell. They won't cooperate. Not personally, but they've given Zerka Corporation a rough time. It's hard enough mining this rock without suffering random attacks. I think the company has even put a bounty on them, but I'm sure not going to try for it. The Jawas are scavengers, and a bit primitive. Hard to understand. They have an affinity for droids. Some of our scientists believe that they may not be native to the planet, but how they got here, they may not even know. As I said, they're hard to understand. They usually end up slaves to the Sand People. They aren't fighters. Good traders, though. It depends on what level of risk you want to take. You could ask at the Zerka office if any bounties need collecting. That's in Central Anchorhead. While you're at the office, ask for a hunting license so you can sell trophies to Faza in his lodge, just north of them. I suppose you could also take up swoop racing. Talk to the hut at the registration office by the track. That's in West Anchorhead. I can't say I know which of these jobs is the most dangerous. I stay away from all of them. As you wish. If you need anything else, I'll be here.
What?
Papuilta, Kolodus, Ivan Webut, Ikelti Remote. Undasta Shelfa, Ufta Kel Chief, Kolodufta. Papuilta, Kolodus, Ivan Webut, Ikelti Remote. Papuilta, Kolodus, Ivan Webut, Ikelti Remote. Duftadan Kelva, Hoisidan Kelva. Wooden Truth Block Van Nibble Kelva, Papuilta, Kolodus, Ivan Webut, Ikelti Remote.
Please, will you help me? I have nothing left. Oh, thank you. I don't have anywhere else to turn. If you're down and out on Tatooine, you're on your own. My husband was a hunter, killed out on the dunes. This raid plate is all I have left. Please, will you buy it? I don't need a handout. I just can't sell it to Faza without a license. Please, I'm worried about having it. They're so rare. No, but you looked... I'm sorry, I thought you looked equipped like a hunter. Are you sure you're not going to be getting a license? I mean, you don't look like a farmer, and the only way to be allowed out of Anchorhead is to get a hunting license. Zerka Corporation sells them out of their office just south of here in the center of Anchorhead. That's where my husband got his. I think they charge 200 credits, but they've been known to make exceptions. Please, no one else will help. Will you buy it? I can't sell it myself. They are worth more than 500 credits. I don't know. How could I be sure you would come back? Are you sure you can't buy it? Please. I'm sorry, but I can't take that chance. You will? Oh, thank you so much. Please, I know it's worth at least 500 credits. Thank you. I hope it is enough. You've been a great help. I appreciate it. My children will too.
Glad to see we're still the good guys here. Sometimes I think we forget that.
Thank you for helping this woman. It may not seem like such a great thing to you, but you are making a difference.
For whatever it means, may the Force be with you. You saved us.
Laboda ni winki smak toma. Wanakun bes jingpa marulira. Tok jingbang non kek. Tok ninja mulira rabes. Kuyabi just kuna jitanai. Yina kun ba marulira rachikun. Slimo patona. Mundi hadonga chikon kabi.
Her mother was supposed to be here somewhere. Ask if they've seen her.
Laboda ni winki smak toma. Wanakun bes jingpa marulira. Tok jingbang non kek. Tok ninja mulira rabes. Kuyabi just kuna jitanai. Yina kun ba marulira rachikun. Slimo patona. Mundi hadonga chikon kabi.
We should try to find her. I doubt she wants to be kept waiting.
Yatuka ulwan kinkuna ba mulira rachikun. Mucha shakpangpa. Laboda ni winki smak toma. Wanakun bes jingpa marulira. Tok jingbang non kek. Tok ninja mulira rabes. Uba batu goji. Tong nongbong shang nungyang. Tong patok smak delia. Kuyabi just kuna jitanai. Yina kun ba marulira rachikun. Slimo patona. Mundi hadonga chikon kabi. Laboda ni winki smak toma. Wanakun bes jingpa marulira. Tok jingbang non kek. Tok ninja mulira rabes.
Can I help you? These are the offices of the Zerka Corporation. I trust you have business with the company? If this is about employment, I'm afraid all regular mining positions are full. And before you ask, we are also no longer selling hunting licenses. Griff? There's no Griff here. Never heard of him. No, I don't remember a single Griff on the Zerka Corporation payroll. Oh, you mean that Twi'lek? Must have slipped my mind for a second. Yes, of course I remember Griff. We hired that Twi'lek some time ago. Not a good worker, according to his crew chief. Always complaining and faking injuries to get out of work. He entered false timesheets and slept through his shifts. We even suspected him of stealing Zerka Corporation supplies, although we could never prove it. We would have fired him, but we needed workers. It would have been better for him if he had been fired. Then the Sand People wouldn't have gotten him. He was lost in a Sand People raid we suffered not too long ago. There were prisoners taken, but our rescue parties never found anyone alive. In the end, it just wasn't cost-effective to keep searching. All miners sign a waiver absolving Zerka Corporation of liability in these circumstances. Zerka Corporation cares deeply for all of its employees. That's why we've started a bounty program to thin the Sand People numbers. We didn't find his body, so we have to assume he was taken prisoner. Whether he's still alive, I couldn't say. That's all I can tell you. I shouldn't even have said this much. This is all privileged corporate information. I could lose my job. As I said, all employees have signed waivers absolving Zerka Corporation of any financial liability if this occurs. It is the industry standard. I suppose you could apply for special dispensation from the Zerka Corporation representative kiosk on Coruscant. Business hours only, please. Very well, though I do have work to get back to. I assume that by out of the ordinary, you're referring to the destruction of Terrace? That is all anyone is talking about. I'm afraid Zerka Corporation is not offering any comment on those events. We wouldn't wish to anger the participants. If you're looking for local events, I suggest you go to the Swoop Track, one of the few leisure industries on Tatooine. There was also a Jawa here earlier, saying something about needing help. I think he's out by the city gates. I can't be more specific about what he wanted. Our droid translators had difficulty with the message. Very well, though I do have work to get back to. As I said, we are no longer selling them. There are too many people cavorting about outside the walls as it is. Well, normally we charge 200 credits, but I could make an exception if you agreed to perform a task for us. It's similar to hunting. The Sand People are becoming a problem. They destroy our sandcrawlers and kill our miners. One particular tribe is the worst. It's as if their chieftain has decided to wage war against us. I would like their attacks terminated. Bring me their gaffy sticks as proof. If you agree to do this, I'll give you a hunting license now and pay a bounty for each stick later. I'll give a bonus for the chieftains. Excellent. Now, just so we understand each other, this is an enforceable contract. Zerka Corporation takes this very seriously. Here's your license, and a few directions. We believe one of their enclaves is in the far south of the Dune Sea. You might try following one of our sandcrawlers. They're regularly attacked. I wouldn't mind you escorting them. Very good. Zerka Corporation looks forward to your future business.
Achua Penki, Yun Patisa, Tichubaji Chiwi Aita Ka Chong Chicha.
La boda ni winki smak toma. Wana kun bes jingpa ma rulira. Tok jingbang non kek. Tok ninja muira rabes. Kuyabi just kuna chitanai. Ina kun ba ma rulira rachikun. Slimo padona. Mundi hadonga chihonkabi. La boda ni winki smak toma. Wana kun bes jingpa ma rulira. Tok jingbang non kek. Tok ninja muira rabes. Kuyabi just kuna chitanai. Ina kun ba ma rulira rachikun. Slimo padona. Mundi hadonga chihonkabi. Jawana bota ayuat tahonga chakanki dora. Kachi kuita hodonga. Topada bongwalia gando donado chut. Musha papangpa bola wana chitne. Bamuli slemo boda wanga kun bes mulira rabes. Kuyabi just kuna chitanai. Ina kun ba ma rulira rachikun. Slimo padona. Mundi hadonga chihonkabi. La boda ni winki smak toma. Wana kun bes jingpa ma rulira. Tok jingbang non kek. Tok ninja mulira rabes. Kuyabi just kuna chitanai. Ina kun ba ma rulira rachikun. Slimo padona. Mundi hadonga chihonkabi. La boda ni winki smak toma. Wana kun bes jingpa ma rulira. Tok jingbang non kek. Tok ninja mulira rabes. Kuyabi just kuna chitanai. Ina kun ba ma rulira rachikun. Slimo padona. Mundi hadonga chihonkabi. La boda ni winki smak toma. Wana kun bes jingpa ma rulira. Tok jingbang non kuyabi just kuna chitanai. Ina kun ba ma rulira rachikun. Slimo padona. La boda ni winki smak toma. Wana kun bes jingpa ma rulira. Tok jingbang non kek. Kuyabi Jus Kuna Chitanai. Ina Kun Mama Rulira Rachikun. La Boda Ni Winky Smaktoma. Wanakun Bes.